Hey there guys, what is going on? We are continuing our look at the Season 4 content here. Today we do have another map guide in Cold War. We are of course looking at the fantastic new map, I guess, in Hijack. This map is an absolute fan favorite. It plays absolutely fantastically in this game. And it is one of the best maps that they have ever made, and it's still absolutely fantastic. You can see, you can drop down into these boats here. That's a little tip for you. This is basically useless, but you can drop down into these boats here, so just keep that in mind. Of course, the boat is known as the Van Boyars, as I'm sure it is tribute to Dave Vonderhaar. But anyway, as usual, we are going to go over some of the best spots on Hijacked and talk about a lot of the lines aside here, nade spots, and other good things. If you do enjoy this kind of video, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. We do have map guides coming out every season and every so often describing the new maps, best spots, and all those other lovely things. So as you can see here at the back of the boat, we do have the A flag. An interesting thing about this is you can actually capture the A flag because this is a little ring here. You can actually capture the A flag from sort of this little crouching position here. You can see that the ring does intersect through this little lounge here. So you can sort of defend it from these areas and this lounge. We go back on this side as well. This works very similarly. It's a little glitchy. Like, it's a little strange that they have actually managed to do this, but is what it is here. Nice little defensive position to try and protect the A flag. If we go on the left-hand side of the boat, we will walk past this catwalk here, and this is one of the most interesting things in the game. We'll talk about that more in a second. Middle of the map, we do have the B flag, and this is interesting. It is basically just located in this little section here. Again, this is another B flag or another flag opportunity where this does intersect these little lounge things here, and I'm guessing this is intentional because they are pretty much on all of the capture flags. And again, we can sort of cap from C standing on here. Again, we take a look at the left-hand side of the boat. We walk all the way onto this side and we see the C flag, which is, again, at the back here. This is pretty standard. There's no real capture cover points on this. You sort of have to protect it from this little post here, maybe even inside if you are feeling that way. But again, this is the C flag. So I want to start off with here one of the most interesting things on this map. This is the COD timing catwalk, I guess we could call it. Basically, this is the most COD timing thing in the game. If you don't know what COD timing is, basically, you can sit here an unlimited amount of time. You can sit here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 3 days. You can sit here for as long as you want. But as long as you are sitting here waiting for somebody to peek out, nobody will come. Nobody will, like, walk out this side and try and shoot you while you are sitting on this position. But the exact second, like literally the microsecond you decide, yep, let's go. Let's go for a run down here. Somebody will be teleported from this map to the other side and will peek out and shoot you. And there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. So somebody will be sitting on the A flag and you'll be just waiting and you're aiming up there. You just vibe and somebody will get teleported here and immediately shoot you. This catwalk is bait for the most part. The more times you do run down this thing, more times you're probably going to die. You can take advantage of this and just absolutely sand it down this hallway and just hope nobody's going to be there. But for the most part, somebody peeking out of this little corridor will kill you pretty easily most of the time. And the same goes the other way. You can sit here and just wait for people. You can get a little bit of an advantage. You can see through that little gap there. So you do actually have a tell when people are pushing here. But again, you can wait here for an endless amount of time. The exact second you decide to peek and rush out this way, somebody will run around the corner and kill you. So this catwalk is bait for the most part, and you will die a lot on this catwalk. Talking more about the internals of the A building, there is also a little bit of an underground. This is actually quite a nice run out for the start of most maps. This is quite interesting to come down here. Only 1 or 2 people will usually come down here, and sometimes no one, and you will have a free flank on the enemy team. The exit on the other side does come up near the C flag in the kitchen there, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But for the most part, you can actually jump out of these by not sort of using the ladder. The ladder is going to be quite slow, and you do have to push your gun away a little bit. But if you do actually sprint up here, you can even jump up that way as well. It's a little bit faster, gets you out here and onto the COD timing catwalk if you do prefer that. But again, you can take the internals as well. Again, looking through here, we do have the weight room. This is a hard point as well. It's kind of just boxy. You can sort of be shot from this position here. If you come down those stairs, you are very, very vulnerable from this spot. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to move into this building. But for the most part, there's not a lot of cover here. You can't really jump on anything. You actually can just walk through the arms on this thing. That's kind of weird. I guess that has to be the case. Otherwise, you'd sort of glitch out and get stuck on the treadmill. We move through here. Again, you can sort of see the lines of sight that we can take here. A lot of people do sit in this position. A lot of people sit in the hot tub. We'll talk about that more. A lot of people sit over there, and a lot of people sit sort of and then come through that way there towards the B flag. Again, we can take a look upstairs. This is a fairly interesting part of the map. We can see into this little bungalow sort of Cabana style area. This is just another walkthrough. Constant people usually do flood through here, walk down that little side of the boat there into this thing. So you can actually shoot through little curtain things there. They are shoot throughable. And I've gotten quite a few tracking kills just trying to be able to get a couple of bullets on people that we do see here. And again, I think you can shoot through these for the most part, but it's kind of sketchy what you can and can't shoot through on this map. So if you do think you know where somebody is, just start shooting at them. You might end up getting a kill here. This room does always circle around the back of this bit here, and then it does come to the ladder on this side. The ladder does cause you to climb up, but again, this is one of those things where you can sort of skip it a little bit and just jump up. But you do have a very, very good view of the spawn back here, as the A flag spawn is for the most part sort of on that back deck there. But people will expect you to sit up here, and you're pretty easy to shoot for the most part if people do know you're up here. But again, this is one of those spots where you can control the A flag and the spawn, and really, if somebody is guarding this building here, somebody is sitting in this window here and they die, you check your minimap and they're dead, you usually are able to turn around and know somebody is pushing you, take them out and continue on your way, because the only way to get up here is just this ladder here. Again, you can see all the way back onto the COD timing catwalk all the way back there, and there's another balcony across the way. You will often get into sniper duels if you are into that on this little catwalk, and people walking down there, you're going to get into fights a lot of the time. And again, people will shoot you from here. If you're looking this way, you can't actually see that in the peripheral. So people will shoot you from there. So just keep an eye on that spot, and that spot there. Again, the middle of the map is a little interesting here. You can jump in this lovely hot tub here. This is really nice. You can't prone or anything in it because you would drown. That's dumb. But again, you can see a lot of the positions that you can be shot from. Here you see pretty much all the way back down into there. If you get the right position, you can sort of just like weasel your way, jump. Little jump shots on this map are really, really nice. You can see over catwalks for the most part, like these little walls here. You just hit a nice little... You have a look over the top, be like, oh yeah, there's a guy there, and then peek around and be like, yep, you're dead. So keep that in mind here. But again, this is a fairly strong position to hold. People do run down that side, people run down this side, people run through there, and you can see all of the positions that you can shoot people from the hot tub. But again, because it is a little bit of a bowl thing, most of the time people will literally just launch grenades in there. So keep that in mind. If you're in the hot tub, that's a pretty hot position to be in. But keep in mind, you actually can chuck a little bit of a... I managed to get my field upgrade position there. That's interesting. That's kind of dumb, but you can sort of stick like field upgrades and stuff in the hot tub, sort of, but again, grenades, so keep that in mind. This is a fairly frequent corner for people to sit in. I'm not really sure why people love to sit in here. They'll be fighting on this flag and be like, oh damn, I'm in trouble, and then they'll hide here, and most of the time they'll appear on the minimap, and they will not peek, because for the most part, you can see it from this angle here in the little Cabana thing. You can see directly across there. If somebody is hiding, all you have to do is just wait for them to peek out. You've got an easy kill on them there. But again, you can see up into this window here if you are in this spot, and all the way back down the ship there again, which is close to the spawn. But for the most part, if people are down there, they will know that you're going to be here. So just keep that in mind. If you are getting into a gunfight here, you sort of have a disadvantage. But if you do get here first, you'll have a little bit of advantage over people, but they can come from that way as well. So just keep that in mind. Again, the left-hand side of the ship here, we take a look down this little corridor, and we see some sort of little entrances here, a little bit of cover, not too much on this side. You can sort of sit here for an interesting spot, but again, you're visible from the kitchen and visible from behind. COD corridor here, whatever we want to call this. Peek out and see you there. That's not a great spot. Again, if you are sitting in this spot, you are actually invisible. From what I have seen, people will run down this little right-hand side of the map and try and either go here, or they'll just immediately run to the little deck chair thing on this side. If no one checks this corner, if you sit in this corner, you do have a very, very good spot to sit in and take people out who do cross into the little Cabana thing, onto the B flag. And most of the time, people literally do not check this corner at all. So one tip, check this corner, because there'll be often someone sitting there, and always sit in this corner as well. That's another tip. Most of the time, people won't check. But if people do start checking here, you will have to move and change your position. For the most part, this map is all about little head glitches. For the most part, again, you will see a lot of the cover on this map is just little head glitches. Like you can see here, this is just waist high. You crouch in and out of this spot. Again, another one little here. This is similar. Most of the cover on this map are just little head glitches. And that's really interesting here, because most of the time somebody will be sitting on these spot, peek out, and they will get a shot on you. So you just sort of expect people to be in these spots. Again, jumping in the Cabana here, you can see here, another little head glitch, jump over, take somebody out there, peek up at the top. A lot of head glitches on this map. That is one of the most important features on the right-hand side of the boat. Again, there is a little head glitch you can see here. People do sit here and control this spawn. That's quite important to note. A lot of people do spawn, run around the left-hand side, and they get immediately taken out by somebody sitting on this bench here. So just keep this spot in mind. Maybe pre-fire it if you do feel like people are sitting on this spot a little too often. And again, there is another one at the back here. This is a little less exposed. Like you do have to sort of peek out a little bit wider to sort of shoot people from here. So that's a little different to the other side, but just keep that in mind as well. Again, on the other side, very similar. You can get a little bit of a better angle and more cover through this thing. I'm not 100% sure if you can shoot through this or not. It's kind of tough to tell sometimes. It's one of those things, sometimes you get bullets through and other times you won't. So just test it out. If you do think somebody is like hiding behind this, just shoot through it and you might get some tags. Again, in the internals of the boat, we do have another building here. This is the kitchen. A lot of people do sit in here and try and control the sea spawn. People do spawn typically back there on the side of the boat and the side of that boat and back there as well. So this is fairly frequent for people just to be standing in the kitchen It's actually quite tough to see people that are standing there because the light difference can be a little tricky depending on what gun you're using. You come around this side, it can be a little tough to see people in there. Just like a flash of a dark uniform can be tough to see sometimes. So just keep an eye out for that. But a lot of times people will be sitting in here waiting for you to peek out. They can see a good angle on that boat there. And again, they'll peek out and be like, oh, take that guy out, and then sort of sit back in the kitchen. I believe there is a hard point in here as well that does cover this entire room, the piano room as well. You can sort of see back into there from this table. You look and sort of can see there. You can see there. Maybe you can sort of take people out who do sit on that head glitch there from the other side. So just keep that in mind. This is a fairly important room in the map. For the most part, people will sit here pretty often. Again, you can chuck like a field upgrade in, like on this bench here. A lot of in areas where you think people won't see them, just keep it in mind. You might get shot with the field upgrades as well. Again, if we do take a look upstairs here, this is a fairly similar room to the other side. Another balcony does look over the spawn. Again, you are very, very easy to see and shoot from this spot. But you do have a very good head glitch here, so you can just peek up and shoot somebody and then duck back down, get some shots off. And again, the only way up here is those stairs down there and this ladder. So they're very, very similar spots as well. And you can take people out fairly easy on the ladder. Again, we do have another room here. You can't really... used to be able to sort of sit in this little bunker thing in Black Ops 2 from what I remember, but you can't really sit in there anymore. And we come out, and it's another balcony spot. As I said, you can see the A back. You can see back there. You can see back there. You can see... also see down there and cover that spot there. A lot of people will look from that side and shoot up here, so just keep that in mind. It's tough to hit, but again, people will shoot you from there because it's not a great head glitch. You can probably still see somebody's head from over there, so just keep this spot in mind. But realistically, for the most part, this map is very, very simple. You are going to find a lot of people sitting on head glitches. Basically, everything in this map is sort of crouch head height. So again, you'll see a lot of people just sort of crouching in and out of things, like sitting on head glitches, sitting on this spot here and just waiting for people to see them. That's a little different because you can be shot from up there, but again, most of the time you'll just sort of be crouching in and out of these head glitches. We do take a look in the belly of the boat and we have a look down here, and this is a fairly interesting spot as well. A lot of people do their runouts down here, so again, if you are on the rip off the spawn, just come down here. Somebody might be sneaking that way, somebody might be sneaking that way. And from what I have found, the best way to run down here is on the right-hand side of this boat and the left-hand side if you are coming from this way, because the way it works is people will drop down here and the first thing they will do is mostly go this way if they come from this way. And the way the timings work, you get here almost before and you cross this little beam here at the same time. Somebody will not see you. You see their footprints if you do have tracker, and you get an easy kill on them, which is quite fun. But again, there isn't really a lot to the downstairs bit. There is mostly just sort of like computery and sort of mechanical bits down here. There's not really super interesting stuff. But again, there is a hard point down here as well, so you do have to keep that in mind. This is a spot that you can sit on if you are trying to defend this door. But again, keep in mind that you are sort of defenseless from this way here. If somebody does just walk up here and you're sitting there, you're an easy target. But again, this is a very, very strong defense for somebody trying to rush and push through this door rather than just sitting here and getting taken out quite easily. Again, the grenade spots on this map are fairly simplistic and you will work them out for yourself. For the most part, you can sort of chuck a grenade all the way over the back there. It'll land over the hot tub. You can sort of see the explosion. It will land sort of in this vicinity here, maybe take somebody out, do a little bit of damage, get a tag. You will know somebody is probably either going to push from this way or this way, and this works vice versa. You can sort of do this on both sides. Again, you can chuck them over the cabana as well. I think this is a glass roof, so if you do have like a frag or something, not glass roof, but this is open. So sometimes you can get some frags landing in here. This is a good spot as well. You can sometimes get the kill on people. And the resupply thing is in the little cabana here. I actually didn't know that until just now. I'd never found it, and I found it just then. But again, there is a lot of little grenade spots that I'm not really going to cover here for the most part because they are fairly simplistic. If you do chuck a grenade over the top here, you can try and get it to land on that edge of there, and that sort of comes from more this position. You chuck it sort of fairly straight. You can even jump on up on the top here and see if there is anybody over there. Maybe if you have a sniper, get a nice little jump shot. But again, you can get jump angles and grenade angles on people there, and the same works the other way as well. It's sort of a harder target to hit as you don't really have this wall to sort of rely on as well. So if you come look here, it's probably easier sort of to just chuck the grenades over that side rather than to try and stick them to either that pillar there or so and land them on that little platform. For the most part, this map is fairly simplistic. There's not too much to go over on this map other than sort of what we've pointed out here. Just keep it in mind, this is a very, very cool map in this game. Most of the time you are going to be fighting in these little situations here. You're going to be looking down a fairly long corridor. What's that? 34 meters from there. And you'll be trying to get into a gunfight with somebody. Maybe you try and get into a head glitch and take advantage of that. Because you do have the advantage when you are on little posts like this. If you're sitting here and somebody is peeking out there, you should be easily able to take them out. And that is most of the combat in this map. You will find yourself sort of getting into combat with people who are on head glitches. And it can be a little tough sometimes. But the fast-paced action, close quarters, everything on this map is just so much fun. We love it so much. But again, that's pretty much it with this map, guys. Again, it is fairly simplistic. Most of the time, you are just fighting in pretty straight lines, again, down that way, sort of across diagonals and stuff. It's pretty easy to work out where people are going to come from. And it all just takes some bit of practice and learning with this map. If you've never played it before, it can take a little while to get used to sort of the head glitches and everything. But this map is very, very good. A lot of fun to play on this map now. Again, in this game, it does play very, very well. Very similar to how it have played previously. But again, that is all we have to say for this map here today. So again, thank you very much for watching this one. If you do want to see a map guide on the map Collateral, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. We do have a lot of new Season 4 content coming up very soon, so make sure you don't miss out on any of that. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Bye!